Hey, Talking Life Math and History, and we are going to start a new unit on geometry. So, since we're starting out geometry, and this is going to be the basics of geometry, because it's the first video, we're going to explain what they are and why we use them, because these basics are going to build and build on for future episodes and future lessons. So, the reason why the word geometry is called that, because the word geo means land in Latin. So basically, geo is you're trying to work with land and what the idea is. That's why you hear the word geography. That is why with geography, you hear about studying different worlds, because geo in Latin means land. So with the math part, when you think of geometry, you might think of shapes or 2D shapes or something that you can hold up with your hand. Well, basically that is it. Geometry is the study of shapes around us, like the volume of that box of Legos, or the area of that flat screen TV, or the area of that map, or the cylinder right here. Anything has geometry in it. If geometry never existed, we have no shapes. And since Earth is a shape because it's a sphere, we would be dead. So that's why we need geometry. So let's get to the point of what the first basic is. So here is the point. Well, yeah, the first basic is a point. A point in geometry is supposed to indicate a location or space. It is represented by a tiny cute dot, and it represents no distance. So, to use a point, it can indicate a space. For example, this is going to be point A. Over here is going to be point B. And over here is going to be point C. Notice how if you connect the dots, they form a triangle. So points are supposed to understand and point out a specific location, but it has no distance. You need points in geometry, like points can be destinations. So how long is it from New York City all the way to Wuxi, China? Type in the comments below, and if you are correct on it, I'll give you a like on that comment. So that is an example of a point. Let's make a point. Here's the point, and I am pointing at the point. So let's move on to the next basic. So here is another basic. It's lines. And lines are made up of points that are straight. They can even extend in different directions. So let's say we're going to put point T right here. And we're going to put point A right here for Taoping Airlines. And a line can go straight through the points. Something that looks like that. But always remember to add arrows indicating that they can extend infinitely into either direction or either direction. They can go left, they can go right, and go on forever. With this line, we can not only picture the line, but we can also name the line. But hang on, how do we do that? It's not like we can name the line Steve or Alex or Andrea or Anna. Instead, we're going to do it like this. Since it's a line infinitely going in either direction, we can name it. This is a symbol that we can use to make math a bit easier. Line T-A. Sometimes people want to be creative, and we can also say line A-T or at. You can use either way. Sometimes math books might have another example of a line, but they don't show points to make a line. Sometimes lines will not even show any points. Sometimes you'll see a cursive number or cursive letter right here. I'm not really good at cursive, but we're going to say this is line L. The reason why we do that is C point T and point A. The reason why we did that is there could be much more points in between or on the line. There are infinite number of points on the line, which will take forever and ever, and that's what we don't want to do. So to make it a little bit easier, we can do this. We can call it line cursive L because it's infinitely number of spaces and we kind of want to relax on it. So those are lines.
Take flight, Stardust Dragon!
What we can't do with lines is, imagine you had a point right here and call it point B. We cannot use or name the line. We can't name it TBA. The reason why is with geometry, you cannot name a line with 3 letters in it. You can only use the ones that give the most amount of information that has that are usually the outer lines. So T and A give out the most information. B does give information, but it doesn't really give enough information. And B is in the middle of the line, so it doesn't really help us. You cannot have a line with 3 letters. Moving on, from lines, we move on to line segments. These are a little bit different. They are a different type of line, but line segments put a little bit more pressure and it limits you more on the math. Line segments are made up of points and are straight. The thing is, it starts and it never ends on the same direction. So basically, it does not go on forever. Here is a dot, and here is a dot. There are points. We're going to say this is point G, and this is point H. Line segments are basically lines in between the 2 points. So they don't go on forever and ever. They basically start and they stop. They can only go from point G, and they have to stop at point H. Sometimes you will need more points, like we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and to make this. So from here to here is a segment, here to here is a segment, here to there is a segment. We're going to name this one S, P, Q, and R. So SP can be a segment. We can actually name it. We're going to write segment SP. PQ can be a segment. Segment PQ. The line on top represents a segment. And we can say segment QR as names, and much more. Type in the comments below what other names you can think of. Who can name the most of them? Type in the comments below and see what happens. So, with line segments, you have to go from one point to another and stop when you do that. To use another line segment, you have to take a new route from P to Q. Here's an example. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing is, these are different line segments. Like from here all the way to here is a segment because it starts and it stops. Here to here is a segment. Here to here is a segment. Here, here to there, and here to here. So that is basically what segments do in mathematics, in geometry, in action. They start and stop.